Welcome back to Nordic Arms and History. Today we're covering an unlikely trade agreement between Italy and Norway that brought the Italian Caproni Ca.310 into Norwegian service. Because of this deal, it gained the nickname Klippfiskflyet, or the Klippfish plane. We'll be covering its details, its procurement, and what happened to it, and its fate during the war. Let's begin. The Caproni Ca.310 is an Italian designed and produced twin-engine reconnaissance and light bomber aircraft. Let's take a closer look at its key features and capabilities. The aircraft was operated by a crew of 3 and measured 12.2 meters in length, with a wingspan of 16.2 meters. Standing at 3.52 meters in height, it offered a wing area of 38.7 square meters. Empty, it weighed around 3,040 kilograms, but when fully loaded, it could reach up to 4,650 kilograms. Powering the Ca.310 was two Piaggio Stella P7C16/35 radial piston engines, each producing 470 horsepower. In terms of performance, the Ca.310 could reach a top speed of 365 km per hour with a cruising speed between 285 and 312 km per hour. It had an impressive range of 1,690 kilometers, allowing it to cover significant distances and a service ceiling of around 7,000 meters. Now let's take a look at the aircraft's armament. Originally, the Ca.310 was equipped with 3 7.7mm Breda machine guns, 2 were mounted on the wing roots for forward firing, and 1 was placed in a dorsal turret for defensive capabilities. However, in the Norwegian variant, it looks like one of the forward mounting machine guns were removed. Additionally, the aircraft could carry up to 450 kilograms of bombs, making it a formidable light bomber. The story begins just before the outbreak of World War II, in 1938, when Norway decides to use the profits from a barter deal with Italy, trading dried and salted cod, also known as Klippfish, to purchase aircraft. The deal resulted in the acquisition of 4 Caproni Ca.10 aircraft, with 2 of the 4 scheduled for delivery by October 9th. Norwegian pilots traveled to Italy for training and to ferry these aircraft back to Norway. Interesting to note is that Norway did not repaint the aircraft, opting to keep the unique Italian camouflage. They did, however, paint the tail and the wings with Norwegian colors. As part of the purchase, Norway also obtained the rights to locally produce 10 additional Ca.310s at the Army Airforce base in Sola. To facilitate this, 20 Piaggio engines and 20 propellers were acquired. The aircraft's design, featuring a combination of steel framework, canvas, and wood, was well within the expertise of the Sula factory, which was familiar with working with these materials. Unfortunately, none of these aircraft have survived to the present day. The 4 Ca.310s were assigned the following numbers: 501, 503, 505, and 507. For their return flight to the Kjeller Air Base in Norway, the pilots followed this route: Milan to Garda Lake, Bolonzo to Innsbruck, Stuttgart to Hanover, and Hanover to Hamburg, Hamburg to Copenhagen, and Copenhagen to Kjeller. However, aircraft 505 encountered engine trouble near Augsburg and had to make an emergency landing. Additionally, one of the mechanics, Larsen, was struck with acute appendicitis and had to be hospitalized. Italian mechanics were dispatched to repair the engine, and soon 505 was airborne again. After a false fire alarm that forced 505 to return to Denmark, all 4 Ca.310s, including 505, finally arrived at Kjeller on October 13th. Before these aircraft could enter active service, a thorough inspection revealed 24 faults. Some of these were a false fire alarm, a radio that did not work, a loose pump housing cover, hydraulic leaks, a broken tachometer, cracked exhaust pipes, braking issues, and a compass issue. Italian mechanics were once again sent to address these issues, and by mid-July, the Capronis were ready to be handed over to the Army Air Force for operational use. In autumn of 1939, Norway placed an order of 15 more aircraft, this time opting for the improved Caproni Ca.312 bis. These aircraft were powered by 2 powerful 600 horsepower Piaggio engines, providing a significant upgrade in performance. 2 were ready for delivery before the German invasion on April 9, 1940, while the remaining 12 were scheduled for delivery in August of the same year. However, due to the invasion, the aircraft were never delivered. There is some debate over the exact number of Ca.312 bis aircraft that were ordered and built. According to the 1977 book Hærens og Marinens Flyvåpen 1912-1945, only 2 Ca.312 bis aircraft were ordered, with an additional 13 scheduled to be constructed and completed at Sula by March 1, 1940. Additionally, 5 others were said to be under construction, with another 12 ordered from Italy, bringing the total to 32 Ca-312 aircraft. The assigned serial numbers for these planes were to be 509 to 547. After being stored in Italy until mid-1942, the Ca-312s were eventually requisitioned by the Italian Airforce and repurposed as transport aircraft. The original plan was for Norway's Army Airforce to field 2 wings of Caproni aircraft during mobilization. Now returning to the 4 original Ca-310s, after some operational testing, it was found to have good handling but lacked power in the engine department. The Ca-310s were given the nickname Hangar Queens. This is most likely what influenced the change to the stronger powered Ca-312 bis. One Ca-310 was on loan as a civilian aircraft and was registered under the Norwegian Aviation Company, or DNL. Painted white and nicknamed Brevduen, meaning the carrier pigeon, it was used to transport mail to Gothenburg, Sweden, and Copenhagen, Denmark, prior to the war. DNL would later merge with a Swedish and Danish airline to become SAS, as we know today. During its service with DNL, the aircraft required 3 engine replacements. It also experienced 2 instances of engine failure, but on both occasions it managed to land safely using just 1 engine. We know quite a bit when it comes to the fates of the 4 Capronis. Fall of 1939, all 4 were sent to Sula to fly neutrality watch. Daily flights were set up from Jærensrev to Slotøy Fyr near Stord. By April 9, 1940, as tensions escalated, Norway's Bombevingen squadron stationed at Sula had 12 aircraft, including the 4 Capronis. One, numbered 501, was undergoing maintenance. The 3 remaining Capronis, 503, 505, and 507, were prepared for combat alongside several Fokker and Tiger Moth aircraft. The Germans launched their invasion on the morning of April 9th at 7:55 a.m. Norwegian forces received direct orders to bomb what they believed to be a German troop transport ship. However, before the planes could take off, German aircrafts struck the airbase. During the attack, Lieutenant Otto Jacquet's Caproni, number 507, was hit before it could leave the ground. Another aircraft, number 503, piloted by Niels Steen, was damaged by a bomb and suffered engine trouble. Despite this, Steen managed to get airborne, but after further damage from German fire, he was forced to land at Opstad. The plane was too badly damaged that the crew had to destroy it to prevent its capture. Only Caproni 505, the last operational Caproni, along with 6 Fokker CV aircraft, managed to take off. They initially flew to Kjevik and later retreated further north. Lieutenant Hansen, flying the Caproni 505, would continue to serve until he was ordered to land at Brumunddal near Valdres to join ground forces fighting against the German invasion. Once Hansen landed his Caproni on the beach, it was abandoned. Later, when the Germans found the aircraft, it was burned. Sadly, this is where the Caproni's war efforts ends. However, it's not all lost. Over 59 years later, the now Sula Aviation Museum retrieved what was left of the Caproni 505 and started rebuilding what would now be the only Caproni Ca-310 in the world. Not much was left from the fire. A piece of the cockpit, one of the yokes, and one of the instruments survived. The rest had to be rebuilt, as you can see here. The project took time, and over the years it was slowly rebuilt and restored. And in 2024, 505 was completed and painted in its original colors. If you're ever in the area, I highly recommend you visit the Sula Aviation Museum. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions regarding the Caproni, feel free to comment them down below. Also, if you feel like the video deserved it, leave it a like. It'll of course show the algorithm that this video is popular and it'll recommend it to more people. Also, if you want to learn more about Nordic arms and history, consider subscribing. Until the next one, take care. Bye bye.